first, as we are almost constantly expecting more snow in our forecast. A little bit of just a light dusting from last night, and those snowbanks are getting bigger. It's a lot of work to get rid of that snow, get it off of your driveway, even just off of your walkway. We want to make sure you're doing it safely. So we bring in our good friend, Dr. Rod Overton from Adelaide Family Chiropractic. Rod, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Ken.
Do you at this time of year, in fact every winter, see a spike in shoveling-related injuries?
Yeah, we see quite a few of them. Surprisingly, a lot of them are just muscle strain. You know, some people, if you haven't done that kind of activity in a long time, you're going to be sore for, you know, probably the next day, and that's kind of normal if you haven't used those muscles. It's when the pain lasts for more than a day or two that you should come in and see a chiropractor and get checked.
Are there typical kind of parts of the body or typical injuries that we see that happen more frequently?
Well, it's a back issue. Most of the injuries are back injuries. You know, back pain alone costs the Ontario economy about $16.4 billion a year.
Wow,
which is a lot. And when you're shoveling snow, that's a big one. Each shovel full of snow is 5 to 7 pounds. So by the time you've done your driveway, you've lifted hundreds of pounds of snow.
All right, so give us some tips. What are some things we should keep in mind when we're facing that snowfall?
Sure. Best thing is pay the kid next door.
That's a great idea.
If you don't have to shovel it yourself, that'd be great. Or a company. Or snow blowers. Snow blowers work great. But if you do have to shovel, there's definitely some strategies that help. First of all, if you know we're going to get a lot of snow, shovel frequently so that you're only shoveling a bit at a time, then you're not lifting lots of weight. It's important to stay hydrated, like with any physical activity. Dress in multiple layers so you're nice and warm, and you can take off layers as you get too hot. Make sure you have very grippy shoes. And then beforehand, it's a good idea to warm up a little bit. You know, just walk for 10 minutes, maybe do a little light stretching. That can help too.
It's funny, you talk about it, staying hydrated, stretching, dressing properly, because it's a strenuous physical activity. Is that part of the problem? People don't really think of it as a strenuous physical. You just think of it as a chore, right?
Yeah, people don't plan ahead, so you're about to rush off somewhere and you got to clean out that driveway, so you go at it really hard and fast. It's better to plan ahead, plan to take some breaks, because if you can, if you're getting tired and you take a break, you can get better energy. You're less likely to hurt yourself. If you do have severe back pain, stop. And certainly if you have severe chest pain, definitely stop and call 911 or your doctor.
Absolutely.
That can be a serious issue.
Is there, when we talk about warming up, you mentioned maybe just go for a walk, or what about stretching? Is stretching a good, because you see a lot of people who will do that before any physical activity, but.
Yeah, I would warm up first, and then when you are warm, then a little just gentle stretching. And when you go at it, don't go at it full force, go at it slowly. You want to make sure you push the snow. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, you're actually going to give me, we're going to go through a shoveling tutorial, which I think is also, when you think of shoveling the driveway, you mentioned getting the kid next door to do it. It's something that you just sort of take for granted that you know how to do, but do most of us know how to do it properly? I mean, do you frequently drive along the road and see people going, I'll see him in my office later?
I think if you talk about just the general rules of lifting, most people know them. They just don't necessarily apply them.
True.
Keep the load close to you, lift with your knees, don't twist. Those are kind of basic rules for lifting anything, and it goes for shoveling as well. But most people just don't think of it. They're too busy.
Well, when you think about those rules for lifting, shoveling snow feels like a recipe to just to disregard all of those rules. You've got something that's got a load that's far away from you on a lever. You usually have to try and throw the load into a different place.
Yeah,
it's the recipe for a perfect disaster.
Exactly, and it's low down, so it's hard to get it. Hard to keep your back straight while you're lifting. And there's certain techniques that you can use that can help. The taller you are, like you and I, it's even harder because the equipment's not really built for us.
Is that when it's even more important to get down with your knees? Are the knees a real key to this?
Absolutely,
issue?
Yeah. You want to lift with your knees, try to keep your back nice and straight, and having the proper equipment to an ergonomically designed shovel. Those pusher type of scoop kind of shovels, I've got one over there we can look at. They're great too.
Well, anytime you don't have to actually lift the load off of the ground must be beneficial, right?
Absolutely. That's kind of the whole strategy. Try to avoid the lift if you can, and if you do, lift correctly.
All right, so we're going to go through a tutorial. You've got a few shovels over there that we can try out. And of course, during the break, you and I will go for a quick walk and warm up, right?
Of course.
Get our warm up in. Dr. Rod Overton from Adelaide Family Chiropractic. If you want to get more information directly from Rod, londonchiropractor.net. You can also give him a call at 519-858-9000 or chiropractic.on.ca is the website. Yes, when we come back, we're going to head over and I'm going to get a personal shoveling lesson, something that you probably don't get very often, but I think you may need. That's coming up next on Daytime.